Does apple cider vinegar go bad? And if it does, how long does it last in your home? And how are you able to tell if your apple cider vinegar has already gone bad? Are you able to tell by the taste, by the way it looks? How are you able to tell? Now, we're primarily talking about pasteurized apple cider vinegar, which is basically anything that you buy in the store. It's been pasteurized, meaning it's been heated up and all the microbes have been killed, but it still doesn't affect the taste. Now, if you get something from the farm and it hasn't been pasteurized, usually the shelf life is only 3 to 4 days. Okay, so what we're talking about here is pasteurized apple cider vinegar that you get at the store. Now, I got 2 brands here. I got Martinelli's that I got at Publix, and then I got Lucy's, which I got off of Amazon. This is a whole gallon of apple cider vinegar. And so the answer to the question is yes, apple cider vinegar does go bad, and you don't want to be consuming bad apple cider vinegar. There's a pretty sure, easy way to tell, and you can look at the color. You can look to see if it's got a foam on it. If it's starting to gather foam on the very top, then it might be going bad. If you got debris on the very bottom, don't worry about that. That's usually the mother of the apple cider vinegar, which, you know, that's the healthy part of the apple cider vinegar. So I want to go and taste this particular one. This is Martinelli's, and I've had this open for a month. And let's taste it. It's a little bit sweet, but it's starting to get sour. That means it's starting to go bad, the apple cider vinegar. It is starting to go bad. So you want your apple cider vinegar to be sweet with a little pinch. But if you start to notice that it's not sweet and it's just more vinegary and it's just more sour, that means it's starting to go bad. That's the first thing. We already talked about the foam on the top. That means it's starting to go bad. And the third way is to tell by the colorization of your apple cider vinegar. If it's like a golden color, then you know that it's still good, most likely. So you want your apple cider vinegar to be more of like a light beige to gold color. If it's starting to get very dark like this one, as you can see, it'll turn like dark brown, and even it'll turn black. I've had apple cider vinegar that'll turn completely black. Then you know it's definitely bad. So taste, the foam on the top, and the colorization. And actually use common sense. So what do I mean by that? Basically, your apple cider vinegar really starts going bad once it's exposed to the oxygen. Okay, so every time you open it up, that means that it's getting exposed to the oxygen, it's starting to get rancid, and it's starting to go bad. So, if you can see here, this particular one I got from Amazon. It still has the cap on it, and the expiration says it expires in 2025, so I'm still good on this. The color looks good, I'm still good. Now, would I buy this particular gallon again? No. I'm a single male. There's no way I'm going to go through this amount of apple cider vinegar before it starts spoiling. Now, what you can do is when you get your apple cider vinegar, and actually this is too large. I would highly recommend, I know it's more expensive per ounce, you know, when you do it over time, but I'd recommend you get the small cups like this of apple cider vinegar. Get organic if you can. That way you'll use it up, and then you'll be able to keep your apple cider vinegar, you know, more edible for longer, potable. Now, what you can do is when you get your apple cider vinegar in, is get little mason jars like this, and then fill them up to the rim. If you can get like a mason jar like that, seal them up, and then store them in a dark place in a cabinet. I wouldn't recommend storing in the refrigerator. That's not necessary. You don't really have to do that with apple cider vinegar. So when I do open up this bad boy in about a week, I got several mason jars. I want to store them. I want to put them all in here. Because if you get them from here, if I keep this open and keep putting it in here and then pouring it out over months, 2/3 of this is going to go bad because I'm not going to be consuming this much amount of apple cider vinegar. All right. I hope I answered your question. Keep in mind, apple cider vinegar is highly acidic. Apple cider vinegar is great for your arteries. It's good for your cholesterol levels. It's an overall very, very healthy food. It's good to put on salads. Do keep in mind it's very, very acidic. So when you consume it, And if you're taking shots of it, I highly recommend you dilute it in distilled or spring water. That way it won't start eroding the enamel on your teeth. And even salads, you want to definitely make sure that you dilute it with olive oil and whatever. Make sure you wash your mouth out with water afterwards when you do consume it, because it's really, really, hard on your teeth. All right, so I hope I answered your questions. If you have any, comments in the comment section, go ahead and put them down. And I do appreciate you watching. Make sure you subscribe.